We've seen it happen quite a bit. I don't know that I'd say it's been persuasive. I think the biggest example we look at is Young Thug down in Atlanta. They took a lot of his lyrics, and even though technically speaking, ultimately they got a conviction, he actually walked out on time served. Most of the people that were prosecuted didn't end up being convicted, and I don't think anybody would call that prosecution a successful prosecution. And so, you've got freedom of speech issues. Does it mean that just because I'm saying something in a rap song, and it typically is a rap song, does that mean that I actually did something? And this is an extra interesting twist here because Lil Durk's attorney is saying, well, this song was actually released a month.
Lil Durk's legal team prepared a powerful new release package that reportedly shook the courtroom, prompting the judge to agree to a bond hearing set for May 8th in Los Angeles. The proposed bail package includes $1 million in cash, $900,000 in property assets, $150,000 pledged by an associate, 24/7 armed security, and electronic monitoring, all aimed at proving he's not a flight risk. This prompted federal prosecutors to respond by filing new evidence in an attempt to block Lil Durk's release, which many are calling excessive. The government submitted lyrics from Durk's 2022 track Rumors, featuring Gucci Mane, along with an unreleased song allegedly found on his phone after his arrest. The lyrics, "I want the one that I paid for, we hit your homie," were used to argue that Durk has a pattern of financing violence. However, his lawyer dismissed the move as weak, comparing it to the failed efforts in Young Thug's case, and expressing confidence that Durk will still be granted release. As the prosecution leans heavily on song lyrics as evidence, Durk's legal team is preparing to deploy a powerful strategy at the May 8th bond hearing, the First Amendment defense. By framing his lyrics as protected artistic expression, they aim to dismantle the government's argument that his music proves criminal intent. "I'm expressing myself," Durk's team is expected to argue, pointing out that countless genres, country, pop, R&B, routinely include violent or dramatic themes without facing legal consequences. If successful, this could significantly weaken the prosecution's case and tip the scales toward Durk's release. It's that lack of context that Durk's lawyers are prepared to expose in court, arguing that prosecutors are pulling lyrics out of a cultural and artistic framework they don't truly grasp, just as in the YSL RICO trial, where prosecutors misinterpreted metaphors and slang as literal confessions. Durk's team plans to show that interpreting hip-hop lyrics without understanding the genre is like reading a text without context. The lawyer's point is clear. Expressing emotion, storytelling, or even exaggeration in rap does not equal criminal conduct. This misunderstanding of hip-hop by the legal system could be the key to Durk's release. Lawyers argue that this could seriously backfire on the prosecution, as using fan-made content, videos spliced by YouTubers and Instagram users with no verified connection to Durk, not only weakens their credibility, but also exposes a failure to properly vet evidence. It highlights a dangerous precedent, blurring the line between internet speculation and factual proof. Durk's legal team reportedly reacted with disbelief, calling out the government for attempting to detain someone based on manipulated online media. This, combined with the shaky reliance on lyrics and the First Amendment angle, has many attorneys predicting a favorable outcome for Durk at his May 8th bond hearing.
Yeah, and I'll go out on a limb and say that sometimes prosecutors don't necessarily understand hip-hop culture. It's almost like a text without context. So you got to really understand the time, the place, the audience. Sometimes they might speak in ways that seem direct to somebody that's outside of the culture, but doesn't necessarily, but can mean several things to someone inside the culture. So it would certainly be a flub, big time, right? But it wouldn't be the first time that such a thing has happened where somebody looking through the window, particularly of hip hop culture, doesn't understand what's being said other than their desired use.
Lil Durk's legal team emphasized in their letter to the judge that the government's argument unfairly links Mr. Banks to online content he neither created nor endorsed. They specifically challenged the reliability of paragraph 6 in the superseding indictment, pointing out that it attributes lyrics to Durk from a Babyface Ray song in which he was only featured, not the lead artist. The defense underlined that the lyrics in question look on the news and see her son screaming "no, no," coincide with footage of Quando Rondo reacting emotionally at a crime scene. But this was purely coincidental and not orchestrated by Durk. They argue that using fan-edited content and misattributed lyrics reflects a dangerous misuse of evidence and misrepresents Durk's intent and involvement.
Durk's team says Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy was recorded 7 months before this actually happened. And the specific version of the song that had audio from the news clipping actually overlaid onto the song is a fan edit, not the original song that Durk recorded and released. Basically, they're saying that the key evidence used to charge Durk were lyrics written and recorded 7 months before the incident even happened, and then an internet mashup that a fan edited and posted.
While Lil Durk's legal team continues to build a strong case for his release, including proving that some of the lyrics cited were written before key events occurred, drama outside the courtroom has begun to stir up headlines. Allegations surfaced that his longtime partner and baby mama, India Royale, was seen getting a bit too close with another man at a party. A friend reportedly leaked footage showing her hand on his leg, leading to a wave of speculation online. India clapped back the next morning with a viral response, criticizing internet gossipers and questioning modern masculinity. The moment was amplified further when controversial figures like Tekashi69 and DJ Academics commented on the situation during a live stream, adding more fuel to the fire. This latest moment adds another layer to the public conversation surrounding Lil Durk's case. During a live stream, DJ Academics and Tekashi69 debated India Royale's loyalty, with Aki defending her by saying he's never heard a single scandal tied to her, unlike with many other rappers' partners. Still, the conversation turned toward speculation. What happens if Durk gets life? Would she stay loyal? That hypothetical, though not grounded in fact, reflects the growing pressure around Durk's situation. Meanwhile, Durk's team is staying strategic. Just before the court hearing and album release, a clip surfaced where he preaches financial wisdom. If you can't afford 10 Maybachs, don't buy one. It's a calculated move meant to paint Durk as grounded, responsible, and not a reckless celebrity. These kinds of clips are often used by legal teams to sway public opinion and, more importantly, judges, by showing character growth and humility.
So, all right, so you want to bet 10,000 right now that...
Hold on. Durk is told about some other shit.
We talking about India.
She's a good girl.
You met her?
I haven't met her. But,
so why you saying she a good girl? Like
because I hear the drama about everybody's relationship, and I know any rapper who could say something about me and they got a public girl, I could tell you who your girl off when she was mad at you. Like, I know all of that. I've never heard no dirt about her. Just to keep it a beat. Never heard nothing about her, period.
All right, but she gonna be faithful to the trial.
Yes.
Anything after that?
I mean, you never know how it goes. I mean, if somebody, how does it go if somebody's, again, I'm not wishing upon him, but if he gets life, like, how'd that go with your girl? She's supposed to be faithful or no?
Fans were quick to connect the dots after reports surfaced that Lil Durk was attacked in his LA County Jail cell block just 2 weeks ago. Though details about his condition remain sealed, his legal team immediately responded by preparing a motion that the jail failed its duty to protect him. This alone could serve as a major turning point in his bond hearing. Judges take inmate safety seriously, especially with high-profile defendants like Durk. What set the internet ablaze, however, wasn't just the attack, it was the timing. On the very same day, both Quando Rondo and Lil Tim did public interviews. While it could be a coincidence, many fans see it as a strategic distraction, possibly a way to keep attention away from anyone trying to retaliate against Durk. Fueling suspicions, Lil Tim reportedly made cryptic comments during his appearance that left fans speculating even more. This incident may now become the strongest argument for Durk's release, not because of weak evidence or First Amendment protections, but because his physical safety behind bars can no longer be guaranteed.
No, like, shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, shit, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f*** him and shit like that. Cause I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like they ain't never popped that it off. That would have never happened.
That moment, Quando Rondo expressing regret and saying it could have all been handled in a music way, sent shockwaves across the fan base. It was almost surreal. Someone once seen as on the opposite side suggesting peace after Durk was attacked. And then to make it even more surreal, Kanye West, arguably the most unpredictable figure in hip-hop, reportedly calls Durk to check in on him shortly after the incident. It's this kind of momentum, layered with unexpected support, that Durk's legal team is likely going to use to humanize him at the bond hearing. Kanye reminiscing about their time in Saudi Arabia and talking about seeing the world could highlight Durk's shift in mindset, that he's no longer the man the feds are trying to portray, but someone who's grown, who has influence, and who deserves another chance. Everything, from Durk's motivational clips to calls from A-listers, paints a carefully curated picture for the judge. And fans can tell this isn't just a legal battle, it's a media and perception war. Lil Durk's case is becoming increasingly complex, with his legal team preparing one of the most significant bail packages of all time. Meanwhile, the feds are targeting those around him, attempting to turn his associates against him. Recently, in a takedown of the Rolling 60s gang, individuals like Big U, Brick Baby, and Loose Cannon were arrested, with sources suggesting that Brick Baby may cooperate with the feds. Brick Baby had previously made a statement during a live stream claiming, "Durk slid for Vaughn, they got Lil Pab," which the feds now view as a key piece of evidence in building a conspiracy case against Durk. In addition to fan-made video edits, song lyrics, and gang affiliations, the feds are stacking pressure on Durk. However, Durk's legal team is countering by using public image strategies, releasing motivational clips, and arguing for First Amendment rights. Ultimately, the case hinges on whether the feds can secure a solid witness. Brick Baby's potential cooperation could be the biggest threat to Durk's defense. The timing of both arrests has led lawyers to believe that the feds will pressure Brick Baby to give up everything he knows. Brick Baby was involved in an incident a few years ago when he made a statement during a live stream. He claimed, "You can't say Durk never slid for Vaughn because they got Lil Pab." This comment drew attention and led to Durk being targeted by law enforcement. Now, with both Durk and Brick Baby in legal trouble, it's speculated that the feds will use Brick Baby as leverage to build a stronger case against Durk. Brick Baby's livestream inadvertently reignited the federal interest in Durk's case when he mentioned the old interview where he called out Durk for his involvement in an incident. The timing of it all made it seem like Brick Baby's comments were the catalyst for the authorities paying more attention to Durk. During the livestream, Brick Baby even alluded to the pressure he was under, saying, "Is this an attempted hit? Or say that no more." This comment raised eyebrows, especially as he was quickly advised not to speak about it anymore. The situation became even more complex when FBG cash was mentioned, particularly in relation to federal charges in California. This all tied into the bigger narrative of how the feds were zeroing in on Durk. Brick Baby's livestream and comments only added more fuel to the fire when it came to the feds' investigation into Lil Durk. His admission about possibly revealing Quando Rondo's location if Durk had asked him raised more questions about his loyalty and potential involvement in crimes tied to Durk. In the live stream, Brick Baby stated, "If he make the call right now, I'd have his up," referring to Durk and his loyalty to him. The feds also drew a connection between these statements and lyrics from Durk's own song, Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, where Durk raps about obtaining a location and getting the ATI, a reference to having access to valuable information. This song, along with Brick Baby's words, painted a clear picture for the feds, who now had evidence to tie Durk into a much larger narrative. Furthermore, with Brick Baby now in lockup and facing serious charges, it seems more likely that the feds will press him to testify against Durk. Analysts and even DJ academics have pointed out how Durk's songs might be seen as a roadmap of crimes, particularly with how they correspond to events like the deaths of Vaughn and Durk's brother. The poetic nature of Durk's 2023 album title, I'm Almost Healed, felt like a reflection of the painful events over the last few years. 2020, Vaughn's death, 2021, the loss of his brother, and 2022, revenge for both, as if Durk were documenting his own healing process through his music. This detailed timeline only strengthens the feds' case, and it's no surprise that they're using his lyrics to support their efforts.